Before we get into today's video, a quick little history lesson. You see, I was actually pretty decent at these games once upon a time. If you go back far enough, on certain YouTube channel, you will see me winning a lot of races and a handful of championships for my day's work. You can see on screen here a couple of my achievements, shall we say. Next clip here, you might notice this guy on the right of the screen now. Yeah, Jack Hammer, 2 times world champion. That's me racing and beating him in that race. Now, I only have 127.5 hours on MotoGP 24, and the game has been out months. It's safe to say, I don't love it, I don't hate it, it's a bit meh. Anyway, today's objective, am I shit? Pretty much, I can already tell the answer to that, but I might make a video of it and see if I can actually make some fun out of it. So, I've gone to Mandalika. I have a lot of Indonesian followers, why not make them happy and go to their home track? I've started off with a 131.5, that's a very rough lap time, that will not be any way indicative of what I can do. See already, 1.1 under, and we crashed. So yeah, get used to that, that's happening a lot in this video. So the first few laps, it's just going to be me taking tenths here and there and just slowly work my way down to something half competitive. So already down into the lower 29 bracket, which immediately has taken seconds off what we could do. So straight out, we're just getting up to speed with the track, figuring out some braking zones, yet we haven't hit our physics wall, which I'll explain more later. Now you can see 28.5, yeah, not a bad lap time, that's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent jump forward from a low or mid 31. So at this point, I was kind of getting down to the point where I was consistently hitting as late as I could physically brake on a complete stock setup. And for day one, I was pretty content with how much I had kind of gained. And I was hoping maybe if I could, overall really, was kind of probably a top 100, top 50 if I was doing something well. But yeah, it's not always so easy to kind of go as fast as you think you can, because for a lot of the period of this game I always thought I could probably do better laps than I can, and when I push I don't usually go as fast as I think I can. But you can see here at the end of day one we are going a lot faster than this last lap, and we're going to set our fastest lap here in a second, and we'll jump back to the leaderboard and see where we are and kind of go back and forth throughout the video to show where we are. So we end up doing a 28.308, and that puts me top 100 already. So already we've gotten our first objective off the table of being in the top 100. Of course, a lot of Indonesian fans of MotoGP, so this track is heavily populated by the Indonesian riders. Now day 2 came, and at this point now we are getting to the point where we are pushing the limits slightly. You can see here, crash, big slide, what the hell that was. We're reaching kind of the edge of the physics is what I would call it, where we're having lots of moments, lots of slides, lots of randomness, unfortunate errors and all sorts going on. So we're starting to push the game a little bit harder to try and actually get a good lap time. Now at this point we have started playing around with subs. You can see we're on soft, the front tires absolutely die at this racetrack. Fortunately, end of day 2 it's a 28.0 and still no 27. We're up to 71st in the world, so there is slow progress. Day 3 begins with a 28.3. It wasn't a valid lap, but it was definitely a very fast lap to start off today. So instantly, day 3, I was confident coming in. Had this massive save, decided to keep it in the videos because how did I stay on that? Shouldn't have stayed on, should have crashed. But day 3 overall was a much better day. I started to understand the physics. I had got myself a decent setup from YouTube. Check out Camille27, most of you will know him. I raced against him years ago as well, and he was very fast back in the day, and he still is now, and he's some very good setups. I don't make setups anymore because I don't play this game enough. Day 3 again was one of those ones where I was reaching the edges of physics, crashing a lot as you can see, pushing the boat out, trying to just find time, and I really wanted that 27. And as you can see here, we have our own ghost on screen and we're trying to battle ourselves. And you can see just because I'm pushing so hard, I'm just going over what I can do with this game and these physics. So unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of them crashes, same crashes over and over. I'm just trying to just take liberties with the front end of the bike, and it's just not really working for me. But thankfully, we do end up getting a lap in a second. But for now, we're just making the same mistake every single lap over and over again. And it gets to a point where you're like, oh my god, I'm ever going to get this lap done. But you can see here now, halfway around, we are in touch with our PB and we're gaining on previous me. And this last sector is actually kind of handier if you have a guy in front of you on screen, because you can kind of just try and pinch a bit of time. And it turns out, as you'll see here in my ghost in a second, my previous lap, I just completely go to a different country in that last corner, and it gives us a load of time back, and we actually lose a bit in the last corner. I kind of probably tightened up a bit too much, so we end up getting a little drag race to the line. But I actually learned so much about the physics, and there we go, our first 27.892. And in day 3 we jump into P63 in the world. Now unfortunately day 4 has come, and this has been like 5 days since I've played the game. I was just too busy, I didn't have time. Unfortunately, this is the reality of me. Modern day is just I don't have the time. Back when I was winning championships and winning races and battling the best in the world, I play the game every day. I enjoy the games, whereas you can see now my riding is just taking a massive U-turn. How I was after losing all confidence with the game. Couldn't put the bike where I wanted. Look, like I'm in the middle of the track. Just cut that corner, run straight off the track here. This is the same lap here with the other guy, Dylan. Another Dylan on the leaderboard. It's very fast lap time. I decided just to put on a ghost to see could I help myself, and I am seconds off the pace. So day 4 really was a complete write-off because I just absolutely no speed. I was pretty tired at the moment playing this, and I was kind of just got to the point where like I think I felt like I'd ruined the video because I had started GP Bikes League, so I spent a couple of hours playing that, so instantly lost every bit of muscle memory I had. And then to top it off, we have a little stupid crash like Bazeki did at the start of qualifying this year. Now we are slowly but surely getting to feel it after a few laps, but we're still just clunky. We're just all over the place. You'll see here in a second. Yeah, that was day 4 in a nutshell. No faster. Now we move on to day 5 and the final day, and we started off with another beautiful crash into turn 1. For me, this game, the corner entry is such a hard part of it for me. It just physically does not feel right for me. Now, I did learn quite a bit from watching people on YouTube. Again, I have to use my own bloody assists and stuff like that, where I watch other people to see what the hot lappers do to actually understand this game, because I just don't. I don't have time to play it. And like I said, I don't particularly love the game. I really try to love it, but there's just too many things holding back the physics. So I probably could go faster if I had more time and more. Yeah, that happened quite a lot over the 5 days. Me touching a bit of green paint here and there, or going over white line. You can see front tire is absolutely murdered. But we actually are getting down to some reasonable pace here. We do set at 28.1 there, which is pretty much almost on our PB. And you can see here we go from lap 8 all up to 14. There's been many restarted laps in that as well, so it's a lot more than 6 laps. But we're still just not able to hook the lap up to get it around. Front tire issue of the temperature is crazy around here, and if you put in a harder or medium tire, it just does not work. So for me, I had to keep this off and had to struggle. But if you come across a curb or do something a bit silly, you can tend to crash due to really beyond the limit everywhere. And for me, I just don't have the muscle memory or the skill really to be doing that with these games anymore. 120 hours on this game. I nearly had that in the first week when the other games would come out, and as SpongeBob said, I'm ahead out. That was it for me. At that point, that was it. I was just done. Couldn't you go faster? The time is there. I just don't have the commitment. I honestly, to put it blankly, I could be fucked playing this game for any more than I have to. And that was it really. That was the bottom line. My fastest lap here. Already we're 2/10 off in sector 1, so it just shows that like this lap is my best lap, not a good lap. So just so much left on the table. And we have a bit of a small result screen at the end and a few kind of notes, as you can see in a second. But this lap here, not particularly good. I'm not really on any good racing line. I just don't have the precision. That's one thing I used to be really good at. I could be precise at a good consistent lines, and I could have a lot of corner speed. And the modern games, ever since they've gone to Unreal Engine, the newer model, it just really doesn't suit me. So unfortunately, I just feel clunky on these games. It doesn't flow for me. And again, GP Bikes came out, I lost all interest in the GP franchise really, because they don't really do anything for me. You can see here I'm using a lot of and the right height device as well. It was one of those things I noticed when I was watching the hot laps. People just use the right height device everywhere, which is something, if you go back and watch the video, start the video, just don't use it anywhere. And then as the video goes on, I just start using it out of any corner I get away with, because it's kind of a big speed boost. You can see the last corner is still the same lap from where I go. Massive time advantage gain. Again, I just turn in too early here just because I just don't have that muscle memory in this game, so it just hampers me. I think if I maybe made myself play it for a bit longer and had a bit more time, which is very hard to make, but if I had more time, I could actually probably make myself slightly better. Now, in the end, the results are P65 in the world. Most importantly to me, I was the top Irish rider in the PC lobby, or the PC leaderboards at the Mandalika circuit. Best lap was at 27.8. Ideal lap from roughly calculated was 27.5. If I went through the 4 days, I reckon if I really got every best sector, I'd probably get a low 27, maybe push a 26 if I get a bit of fortune. But P48 will be for that ideal of the 27.5. And pretty much the verdict is, these days I'm pretty much washed on these games.